as far as New Year's resolutions and starting out on the right foot, like what a better way than to try to be a servant to others and to, just do the right thing. If you put your mindset to it, like it's an easy thing to do. So, like you said, you're starting phase 3. This is going to be a daily occurrence for you. But people can,
Mm-hmm.
people keep this on the forefront. Like, dude, wait 2 seconds and hold the door for the old lady. Like, just little things like that. When you're aware and you keep them at the forefront of your mind, I just think, that's where change is made. Just be present in the time, and if you could do something to better a situation, why wouldn't you?
Welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Guys, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about random acts of kindness and many more things. But before you go, you want to listen in because Armando, Savage Solutions, the Bow Hitch, are going to be giving away a hunt in Maui for axis deer. So you definitely want to get tuned in for that. Check it out, guys. Make sure you follow through on this episode. If you like the episode, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and let's get started on this random act of kindness giveaway. Go follow the Bow Hitch over on Instagram, and that's where you guys are going to be able to participate throughout all of January. There's going to be many more prizes other than just the hunt in Maui, which that in and of itself is outstanding. I'm jealous of that. So hopefully you can win that hunt and then tell me how it went. With that being said, guys, don't forget that there's 2 days left. There are 2 days left in the giveaway for my December giveaway of over $500 worth of gear between supplements, a backpack to get you hiking for the new year, also a scope for your bow. Guys, you want to get tuned in. Check it out. The links are all down below. Subscribe, like this video, and also drop a comment down below any questions you have and how you're going to get started in January for this random act of kindness giveaway. That being said, guys, have a fantastic day. Enjoy this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get rolling with Armando, Savage Solutions, and the Bow Hitch. All right, guys. Well, we had a little technical difficulties. We're doing take number 2. So
We'll
we've
get
got
it.
an outstanding guest here with Armando. Armando is he's the founder of the Bow Hitch, but they also do a lot of other things throughout the year. They have some other slings and things that they have as part of their company. But right now, when this podcast comes out, it'll be January. Right now, we're technically in December, but in January, we're going to be doing, or Armando and his crew is going to be doing the Random Acts of Kindness giveaway. And we wanted to highlight that as well. If you guys haven't seen what the Bow Hitch is, it's this little arm piece that goes on my bow. We'll get into that a little bit more here in the episode. But Armando, for people that don't know who you are you, man?
Hey guys, my name is Armando Martinez. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are a small business, it's my partner and I who are both, I retired from the fire department. My partner's still active duty. But we're just some public servants that found a need for something, found a problem, and fortunately we were able to come up with a really simple solution and solve this problem. So we're just regular dudes that try to do good, and that's kind of built in our DNA, and our passion is just helping people. And fortunately, kind of the product we were able to invent does help people. um, and we're just really using the platform that we have to continue to do that, to help people just have a better experience altogether. And with our random acts of kindness that we're talking about today, is really just sharing kindness with a stranger or with somebody, it doesn't matter. But it's cool to be kind, I guess, is really what it boils down to. It's so simple to do something kind for somebody, and when you have the opportunity, I just don't see why you wouldn't. And that's kind of what we're talking about.
Exactly. It's something that's a big deal, and I think we definitely need more of that. I love that you start the year off with this random acts of kindness. I'm currently, actually, today is the start of phase 3 of the Live Hard program for me. So I have to
Awesome.
do a random act of kindness every single day for 30 days. And so I really, I don't know, it kind of hits home this time of year. I really enjoy it as we're wrapping up 2023 and heading into 2024. There's so much that can get lost in the the hustle and bustle of getting Christmas gifts and visiting family, and people are in town and this and that and all the activities, and kids are out of school and they're bored, and like all of this stuff going on. And I love that you start each year off with this random act of kindness giveaway. So talk to us a little bit more about the random act of kindness giveaway.
Sure. So the giveaway itself is awesome because it's free. Um, we do we do most of our stuff on Instagram. So my social media game is not great, but that's where it happens. Whatever I post on Instagram sometimes does make it over to Facebook. So if you guys follow us via Facebook, be sure to check out our Instagram or send a DM saying, "Hey, give me some more information on the Facebook side." So just to clarify, most of our stuff is on Instagram. But what the Random Acts of Kindness basically is um, at the beginning in January 1st, we're going to come out with some rules and some basic guidelines that say, "Hey guys, we're launching Random Acts again, and this is how you get involved." The price to pay is simply doing something kind for somebody else. As we get later on into, to the month of January, we try to throw some incentives. Is like, hey, check out the RedBeard podcast. Go check out, Elk Bros website, or Elk Shape or whatever, and just get with some of our partners to try to get them a few more, some exposure for being, part of the giveaway with us. And that gives the people who are actively participating in the random acts an extra chance to get in and have another chance at winning some amazing stuff. So, the prize pot last year was insane. We already have a heck of a start this year, and I really hadn't even started reaching out to people yet. Typically, people will start reaching out saying, "Hey, man, are we doing this? You doing it again?" So, um, we're just so blessed to be in that situation. So last year we had like 25 or 24 or 25 gifts, and I had to actually tell people that I couldn't accept any more giveaways, prizes. It was just becoming too much. So I think I'm going to stop it at 20 this year. There'll be 20 prizes. And the coolest thing about it is this year again is going to be an access deer hunt in Hawaii on Maui. So I got a buddy who owns an amazing piece of property over there. I've killed a couple access on that property. The winter last year, him and his buddy went out and they smashed a couple on day one. It's just, I mean, you're literally on an island paradise, and then you get to go hunting. So it's just like the icing on top of the icing. It's incredible. So that's our top prize that kind of got away from the random max deal, but there's an incentive obviously to do good. Is pretty cool, man. You should be doing it anyway, but why not incentivize it? Does that cover what you're looking for?
Oh yeah, 100%. No,
Okay,
I
yeah,
definitely
cool.
agree. It's something that's really big that people should get in on. I mean, the things that you're giving away aren't I mean, I guess an Axis trip in Maui is pretty for some people that would be a once in a lifetime hunt type of deal.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
that's a big deal, things that you're able to give away for this. And simply again, you're just doing random acts of kindness. So how do they submit it to you? Is it just do they send you a message? What's the deal?
Right. So last year, and I think I want to do this again, I'll do a post, and that's going to be the original post to where everybody puts a random act of kindness to it. That way people could read it and they can see it. And dude, I'm not kidding. I was crying last year while I was going through these things. I had a couple that were just literally I was tearing up, and it was freaking cool. It was so cool. So, there's some small ones, and there's people who do kind things and they're like, "I don't really want to talk about it," you know. And if you're that guy, then hey, you know what? I did something kind for somebody today, and it was pretty neat, and I don't like talking about it. You can do that. Like I think I think the world takes care of itself. So if you were, making something up and you wanted to put some sort of a weak response like that, then,
Hmm.
you know, the universe takes care of itself. So I'm not too worried about it. So if you are that person who doesn't really want to say too much about what you did or think you're boasting or whatever, don't worry about it. But the more people share, I think it gives other people ideas, and it lets them know like, hey, yeah, I might have done that last week and not even known that was a kind thing because I typically do that, which is a great place to be. And for those people who may be in a funk and they're like, dude, I'm mad at the world. I'm not happy right now. Like, yeah, here's some ideas of a couple of cool, very simple things that you can do. Um, and it just keeps a chain going, dude. People respond to each other and they're like, hey man, great job. Wow, that was awesome. I remember somebody did that for me, or just it's a cool chain effect that takes place in the comments. So what I would like for it to be is our original post. I'll pin it on the Instagram, so it'll be our first pin, and then everybody just go to that and respond. And as the month of January goes through, I'll put it in the stories and say, hey, go to our original post and respond. And then I'll keep linking that post. So that's what I really to me that's I like to see that because it keeps people active and others get to read it. I don't just want to email in my inbox that nobody sees. So I want to share the good stuff that's coming out from it.
No, that's awesome. And then, I agree. It's cool to be able to go through and read all the different stories and things that people have given away or done in service or even nominating other people as well. Talk to us a little bit about that as well. Nominating somebody that maybe
Right,
doesn't
right.
want to talk about their service.
Sure, and we had a couple of winners that won last year because of that. They'll just be like, "Hey, Jonathan doesn't have Instagram, or whoever doesn't have Instagram, they don't follow, but he's an amazing person. He went out of his way to take a kid, fishing for the first time. The kid lost his uncle or whatever the backstory is. But so like people like to acknowledge goodness,
Mm.
and especially if I have somebody where I'm like, dude, this is a special person. Like he's doing good things for no reason. Like I would love to be able to nominate him. So do we accept those? Of course, because not everybody has Instagram, and I totally understand that. Um, so we're not gonna rule them out because they're not on the page. That's no big deal to me. Like doing the kind thing is the big deal.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. No, I would agree with you on that 100%. It's all about the service that can be provided and I mean, your career technically you were paid to be a fireman, but at the same time it is a career of service. And so I guess is this where did this idea come up in your mind, you and Doug, that you guys wanted to do this random acts of kindness giveaway? Where did that come from?
Well, I think him and I are pretty similar. We're both family men. We're both men of faith who, through the fire service, like people say, the fire service is a calling to you. And sometimes when you're a young man, and I was 22 when I got in, I was looking for a job, like
Right.
I was, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to get in at 22, I'm going to retire at 42. Like, fireman sounds pretty cool. Like this is a great opportunity. Let's go get it. And little did I know, like I feel like I was built for it, dude. Like I had a really good career. I did some really good things with our department. Our department is big. It's strong. It's pound for pound one of the best and busiest in the country. Um, so for example, we have a little under 700 firemen, 22 fire stations, and last year ran around 124,000 calls. So it's insane, dude. So we hold our own, and so being able to flourish in that environment, like it was a calling, and I didn't know the calling was there, but I was put in the right place and was able to do some really really good things that now that I'm retired, like to think back on it, I'm like, man, that was pretty insane. Like that's pretty badass for lack of a better term. But when you're in it, it's kind of like, ah, whatever, just get back on the truck, let's go on another one, or let's go run another call, or I was an arson investigator, so it's like, well, let's go to the next fire and figure out what happened, and to be able to do that and see it all the way through and know, like, wow, bro, like now on the outside when people ask me questions, I'm like, it actually was pretty cool. I guess you just can't see the tree, the forest through the trees while you're in it, which now that I'm retired, like things change a little bit, so um long way to say that's kind of how me and Doug, I think, are just built. Um, and as far as the random acts of kindness, it started in 2020, going into 2021. My brother gave me a spotting scope, and it was a brand new spotting scope. And he's like, "Hey, bro, I just want you to have this." And my brother doesn't have any money. He's like, "I want you to do whatever you want to with it. Give it away, sell it, raffle it, try to get some followers for Bow Hitch, like whatever you think you need to do with it, it's yours." So I was like, "Damn, dude, like that's
Wow.
pretty cool." So I sat on it for a few months because I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, "This is a really big gesture from," and he's my brother, but at the same time, it didn't have to be done. And he was just getting into hunting and stuff and just starting to take it serious. So it was to me, a really big deal. So I had called Doug and I'm like, dude, you know what? I think my brother had given us this. He knew about it. And I said, I think I want to give it away, man. Let's 2020 was just such a rough time when everybody was upset at everybody for this or for that or for whatever, dude. COVID was going on. Like everybody, there was just a lot of reasons to be griping about one thing or
Yeah.
another. And so I said, you know what, we're gonna start this year off right. That's my goal, is to start something to say, hey guys, we're in a funk. We can acknowledge that, but we don't have to stay here. If all of us could just do something kind for somebody, we don't know where it's gonna end. Like this, something from 2020, that trickle, that little wave could still be producing today, which is the freaking coolest thing to think about. Like you don't know where it ends. So to me that warms my heart and makes me want to do it every year. But
Exactly.
that's the premise of it, man. Just let's start out on the right foot. And at 2020 going into 2021, it was the absolute right time. But as far as New Year's resolutions and starting out on the right foot, like what a better way than to try to be a servant to others and to, just do the right thing. If you put your mindset to it, like it's an easy thing to do. So, like you said, you're starting phase 3. This is going to be a daily occurrence for you. But people can, people keep this on the forefront. Like, dude, wait 2 seconds and hold the door for the old lady. Like, just little things like that. When you're aware and you keep them at the forefront of your mind, I just think, that's where change is made. Just be present in the time, and if you could do something to better a situation, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Exactly. No, I 100% agree with what you're saying there. It's something that again, we need more of nowadays, just more people that are willing to just give back for no reason. Um, and it's something that I look forward to again this time of year, and then doing the phase 3. Like it stretches your comfort zone a little bit to get out there. I started doing my first time doing phase 3 was during COVID, and and so people always looked at me like I was the weirdo. Wanted to come up and talk to them,
Yeah.
and do a random act of kindness for them, but people are
Uh-huh.
like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Get away from
looking
me.
at me
Yeah.
like I'm patient
Right.
zero or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was an eye opening experience for me, and I've tried to keep it um, consistent. And then, of course, I want to get my kids involved too. And so, whenever I'm out doing stuff and the kids see me do something, they're like, "Oh, Dad, why'd you do that?" Well, this is why, and I explain it to them and how we can help and what's the best way to serve people, etc. And yeah, I mean, it's just something that I feel like people definitely need more of. You can't have enough kindness out there, and we get so wrapped up in our phones, so wrapped up in everything else that's going on that we can forget that we're built in a community. We have a community around us. We've got our neighborhood, our neighbors, and then the people that are in our town, and we should be serving those people. We should be reaching out to them and helping to better our society, one person at a time, one act of kindness at a time, for sure.
That's all, dude. I think that is so well said. It just takes one little thing, dude. And, if not me, then who? Which is kind of the mantra that we kind of, I've always just, and it's weird because later in my career, as I started promoting, that really stuck to me. If not me, then who? And it just makes total sense because you're like, dude, I could just sit in the back of the truck, clean some shitters, and then go home without worrying about anything. But I'm like, well, then who's gonna make this better? Who like there's improvements to be made. Let's make them. If I don't do it, then who? And
Exactly.
so it's just a simple, it's a great mindset to have. And
Exactly.
once you start doing it, just like your kids, they see what you eat, they see that you're working out, they see that you're reading, and it just takes care of itself. Doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure, but they are watching, and other people are watching too. Coworkers here where I'm at now, like they see the little things, and you could see it kind of rubbing off, which is cool.
Exactly. No, I definitely agree with that. It's something that it's I don't know. I don't know any other words to describe it other than it just needs to happen more. People need to get more involved in their communities. That's a big reason why people are so willing to fight and argue and over dumb little things that you get punched in the face for, just before my generation or even in my generation in junior high or high school. Like,
Yeah.
you can't say certain things in person, and people want to type them out or text them or argue about them when they don't really have any meaning. And if you just turned around and chose to serve that person, you know, it's little things like, for example, you see a grocery cart in the middle of a parking spot. Instead of griping and groaning and saying how stupid that person is and how, in my head, yes, the first thought is tell them. In my head, the first thought is, well, guys, um, I know what kind of person you are. If you're willing to leave this here, but I don't say anything. I just go and move the cart, you know, and it may not seem like a big deal, but it's the little things like that. It's for dudes, it's wiping the toilet seat off after you take a piss, and it's
Hmm.
something that just, I mean, you just should do. It may not all be your pee on the toilet seat, but guess what? You left it better whenever you leave than when you were there to begin with. So, like, little things like that people will never really see make a big difference because it speaks to the character of who you are. And again, if you're something I was taught growing up and Christians are taught is who you are in the shadows, who you are when no one's looking at you is who you really are. And so are you doing it because of Instagram clout? Are you doing it because of, you know, uh, getting recognition, or are you doing it because you genuinely want to better your community, better the people around you, and that's what your goals are. So that's kind of where I'm at with those random acts of kindness. Just better your community.
That's it, dude. Yeah. And yeah, you can't, God's always watching. Like you don't fake him, you don't hide from him, and I'm with you with the shadows thing. It's like, dude, you 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 are who you are. And if you do
Mm-hmm.
something for the right reason or for the wrong reason, like it's known and you feel it, which is like the worst part. If you're like, dude, I'm not gonna walk over there and push that cart away. You start driving away and you're like, oh man, you left some food on the table, kid. You really could have. And not that I'm a saint, so please, people, like,
Right.
I am by no means like that guy to be preaching to you. All I'm saying is we have an opportunity to do better, myself included,
Mm-hmm.
starting with me. So if I can do that and provide you guys a platform to do it, and maybe something at the end of the rainbow, like that's cool, that's what I'm here for. But I'm not preaching to you. I know Jonathan's not preaching to you. We're just saying, hey, there's a lot more that we can do, and Jonathan knows all about finding what's left in the gas tank, and stretching 1 gallon into 70 miles. Like, you're an animal, and you find 30 hours out of every day, which I think is amazing, dude. Like, I don't know how you do it. And I've seen you do it, and we were I think it was at ATA, and we stayed together, and I'm like, this guy doesn't sleep. Like, but you're just so driven, and I think that's kind of what makes yeah, I don't know. I love our connection, and I love watching you and learning from you, and seeing you as an example. So keep doing what you're doing, man. And I just wanted to let you know that, like, I really appreciate you, and the effort that you put forward into everything you do. Yeah, I've never seen a shortcut come out of you, and I don't foresee one in the future. Like, everything you do is top notch and much appreciated, on a professional level, on a friendship level, like on a family man, like dad to dad, husband to husband. Like, you don't take any shortcuts, and I love it. I love it.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's something that, you just got to do it, and you got to be the change that you want to see. And that's the other thing too, is that people will sit back, and I think that's a big problem with, not to get too political, but with politicians that are career politicians. They lose sight of the idea of actually having to take action, and they want to write everything down and just pass these laws or slide things in with verbiage and things like that, when all we need is some action. Some, if you saw people out there, like, again, going back to, and this isn't a right or left situation, because there's wrong on both sides, but during COVID, when they wanted to shut everything down, and then they had a politician go to a hair salon, that action right there tells me that you're more important and you don't even believe what you're saying. And so for me, it's the same with my kids. I don't expect anything different from my kids than I do myself. And I point that out to them too. Like, whenever they have chores, or I ask them to do something, or ask them to help out their mom or their sibling or whatever, and they gripe or groan about it, I'm like, you know what? I said, tell me then, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you see me doing anything different? Am I just chilling on the couch doing nothing?
Hmm.
Or, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, and so it's lead by example, be the change you want to be. And going back to your random acts of kindness giveaway, it's a great way to start off the year, because even if it's not part of your New Year's resolution per se, or whatever it is that you choose to set your goals for 2024, I would highly recommend that people do set some sort of goal to serve people or be a better human being in that way. And create that habit, whatever it is. Again, like you said, holding the door open for someone coming out of the gym, going and helping someone with their groceries. Again, moving the carts back, putting the carts back that you didn't necessarily leave out there. And then when you do have a grocery cart, making sure it makes it back to the cart return. Like, things like that. Picking up garbage, as long as it's safe, it's not needles or anything like that, right? But as long as it's safe
Yeah.
garbage, picking up garbage and stuff like that while you're walking around your neighborhood. Again, be the change, be the difference that you want to see, and then it will. You don't know who's watching, because you could say, God's always watching. I agree with that, but nowadays you're always on camera. Somehow
Sure.
you are always on camera.
No doubt.
Um,
No doubt.
I've found, there's been a couple times that I've found recently that I'm in the background of a YouTube video and I had no idea. And people will send me a screenshot. Hey, I found you here. Hey, I was watching this video. You were here. And I'm like, well, crap. Like, what if I had been blowing up on somebody or doing something stupid? It would have been all over the internet. And so, with Ring cameras and people with cell phones and kids with phones and Instagram and all the social media, you're always on camera. Just treat your life as if you're always on camera, even if you think you're not. You probably are. And so, um, again, just be a better person, be a better human being. And I love that this giveaway encourages that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like you mentioned earlier, you're living in the shadows. There's no shadows. Like, somebody's always watching, and yeah. So yeah, dude, we're blessed to be able to be in a position to run it, and to have a community of people who want to share in it with us, and be a part of it. So I'm extremely grateful for that, and just, as long as I'm able, able, I'm willing. Like, let's give some people some, some joy and spread some cool things, man. The, like I said, you never know where it's gonna end. You never know, dude. It is so cool. One of our winners, quick story from last year, he won the first Phorm package, and Dennis, he was on a, like I was preparing for the hike, a Western Hunt Fest. It was a pack out challenge where you got to pack out an elk, a simulated elk. I was working out pretty hard. I had posted a couple of things about it, and so he started asking me workout questions, and I'm like, bro, I'm not that dude. Like, there's professionals. Like, I tell you, I got on there and I did this and that, and I'm sore or whatever. But there's just so many better people. And he's like, well, I really want to get into it, and he had his story, and so I was like, cool. Freaking dude won the first Phorm package, dude. Out of last year's random acts of kindness. To this day, him and his wife are eating amazing. They're still on everything. They're working out. They post it. He's down like 20 something pounds. He's got a six pack, dude. But his wife is doing it. His kids are doing it. Like, everybody who he touches has improved and gotten better because of that one ripple. And who knows how far that's gonna go. Like, change his life. Dude, I mean, for 12 months he's an animal now. Like, he went from wanting to be a little bit better to being an animal, dude. And so I'm just so proud of him, and yeah, it's a cool thing. So we'd love to have anybody who is listening to this follow along. If you don't need to participate if you don't want to. I recommend it. Do something kind for somebody. If you want to jump on at a chance to win something, even better. But look at the stories, share your story, say, hey, good job. When you read it in the comments, yeah, that was cool, man. Good for you. Like, everybody likes to be complimented and to be, acknowledged for what they've done. And it doesn't cost you a thing. You know, a compliment goes a long way, and you acknowledging, hey, dude, that was really cool that you did that is, it's amazing. I've learned that a long time ago, but it's a cool way to make somebody's day.
Oh yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with that. And you definitely given away some amazing things, like you were mentioning that the Maui hunt and
Oh,
the
dude.
first
Yeah.
Phorm package and plenty of other things that we've got in the works. So I definitely recommend people going and checking that out, checking out the giveaway. By the time this comes out, the post will be live, and you guys can go review that and share, your act of kindness, or nominate someone else that that maybe isn't willing to share that. Go do that as well. So, with that being said, let's go into a little bit more about the Bow Hitch and
Okay.
some other products that you guys have, with the Bow Hitch. So, for people that don't know, this is Armando's main thing. Now he retired so that he could work 24/7
Yeah,
instead of
pretty
the
much.
instead of the cushy job that he had as a fireman, which I keep hearing those over and over and over again, that if you want to get into the outdoors more, become a fireman. So, from what I understand, your main job was to stay fit year round, get ready for calendar shoots, and then every once in a while you had a job to do. So, if people want to
Uh,
get into the outdoors,
we have a very simple rule that we live by.
mm,
Eat till you're sleepy and sleep till you're hungry. That
there you
was
go.
that's kind of no. There's some studs in the department, dude.
Hmm.
It's you got to be ready. Not everybody is calendar worthy, and I definitely wasn't. But it was nice to know that when the tones went off, like, hey, if we need to do something, we get it
Yeah.
done. So that's
Well,
a good
so
feeling.
basically what you're telling me is that you were, so when they were off doing their calendar shoots, you were the one manning the station, right? You were the one
Somebody
keeping.
had to do it. Somebody had to hold it down.
That's awesome. So
I
you
got a
went
I
from
got a
that.
face for radio.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. So with that being said, you retired and you created this. So I've added some felt here because that was rubbing up
Yep.
against an arrow, and
Uh-huh.
obviously my own little touch here. But the Bow Hitch itself is a really awesome tool that, if people can see behind me here, it's on the Mach 34. It's that little thing that sticks off right there. It doesn't stick out past your string. It's adjustable. That's why there's 3 holes, and there's multiple different sizes as well that Armando and Doug can walk you through if you have questions on which one you need to get. But it definitely helps when you're hiking for a long distance and you don't necessarily want I don't like putting my bow on my backpack. That could be me being not as veteran as a lot of people out there hunting, but I like to have it ready. And so it hangs your bow right on your right or left hand side, whichever side you put the strap on. And this little hook attaches to it, so your bow will hang like this. It'll hang vertical or horizontal to the ground. So, talk us through kind of the idea behind it and why, I guess, why you came up with it.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, for every archer who's been out there, like me personally, I've purchased every single carrying system that there's ever been. Like the slogan for the Bow Hitch is "Carrying your bow sucks." So, like, I think anybody who is an archer who has ever carried their bow through the woods knows that at some sort of, at some point you're gonna get fatigued. You're gonna move it from right hand to left hand. You're gonna stop carrying it by the handle, then you're gonna carry it by the string, and then you're gonna try to do the balancing act over the shoulder. And then when you're really tired, you're like, dude, I'm probably not gonna see anything. I'll put it on my backpack, which totally removes you from the game. You're no longer hunting. You're simply hiking and transporting your bow.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, like it, it's just the tale as old as time, dude. If you see a problem, if you can come up with a solution to fix a problem, you have something special. And for us, there's no moving parts. It's a piece of steel, so that's not going anywhere. There's the mechanism itself is just so basic and so simple that it works. Like I don't know. There's just a hard. It's really hard to explain the bow hitch itself because nobody has ever built anything like it. Oh, to add on to that, we just received our patent on the bow hitch 3 weeks
Oh,
ago.
sweet.
So we
Dude,
are
yeah, congrats.
officially patented inventors, and so yeah, dude, the bow hitch it's designed to keep you in the game. We found a need, and we were able to fill that void. It's a very simple product. Um, the best analogy for you guys, I'll give you an analogy before I talk about the other ones, but the best analogy I can come up with is it's a doorstop. You just picture the little small doorstop on the bottom of your door. It's there when you need it, and when you don't need it, you have no idea it's there. Compared to the rest of the door, it weighs nothing. It's not in the way. It doesn't hurt the performance of the door. It doesn't interfere with anything. But when it's time to use it, you're like, damn, I'm really glad I got this door, this door stop. And that's the same thing with the bow hitch. It'll be out of your way until you're like, you know what? I'm really tired of carrying my bow. Then you strap up your bow hitch and your bow remains in a ready position to shoot, which is the icing on the cake, honestly, is you're never out of the game. So with any other sling or carrying device, you're technically out of the game because you're going to require a lot of movement. You're going to require some sound. Some moving parts are going to have to work out, right? And with the bow hitch, we simply come up, slide out a piece of 1 inch webbing from the bow hitch, and you're shooting. Like it's a. Once you see it, you'll understand. But there's not a whole lot to it, which kind of makes it even a more special product.
No, for sure. I definitely agree. It's something that it doesn't weigh hardly anything.
Yeah.
And I've been on a kick lately where I've been getting carbon bows, and so the lightweight of where I get to put the weight matters, and so it really didn't affect anything with my shooting. Again, you see on this one, if it's touching your arrows, just add some felt
Hmm.
to it.
Yep.
That doesn't change the performance. It's just more of a sound thing. But outside of that, like having it right here available to you, and I keep it on my left side just because
Hmm.
that's the one that I hold the bow with, and it just comes right off. You just reach your hand over, get off the webbing, and then you're out. And so I would agree with you. Any other carrying devices that are attached to your backpack or whatever, even if you can reach back and grab that and get it off, you're still bringing the bow way up above your head. There's tons of movement involved in that. And then if you're not flexible like me, I can barely reach back behind me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's a whole different idea, and I'm glad that you guys got it patented. I'm glad that was approved. So congratulations on that. That's a big
Thank
deal.
you. Yeah,
So
huge.
there is a little piece of 1-inch webbing that you can attach to your backpack strap. Some people even will take this hook and just put it on their bino harness. If
Hmm.
you're at TAC or something like that, some people do that. What are some of the other, I guess, items that you guys
Yeah.
produce?
Oh, sure. So the bow hitch, when you guys order a bow hitch, it so he's mentioning that the bow hitch comes in contact with one of his arrows. He has a piece of felt there. So all of that, everybody's bow is so different. Like we definitely have some bows where their quiver does this or that, or their sight does this. And like it's so hard. I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell you guys everything about every setup because they're endless possibilities. But make the bow hitch work for you. And is it going to work 100% of the time? No, it's not. And if it doesn't, we'll take care of it. And, make sure you guys are whole and figure it out to where we have a happy, happy person on the other side of the line. But that being said, we're probably 98%, of the time we're making it work for the archer. And they're like, hell yeah, like, let's go. I love it. So the bow hitch comes with the bow hitch itself. It comes with a couple of sets of mounting screws. So depending on your sight and quiver, you're going to use the longest screws that will fit, just so you have a really good bite on the bow hitch and your sight. Uh, it comes with a little piece of felt, which for the aforementioned, if it comes in contact with an arrow or your quiver somewhere, we're able to eliminate any sound that would come. And then it comes with the pack strap. That's the 1-inch webbing he was talking about. Our pack strap has a gated buckle that goes onto the load lifter just close to your collarbone. So if you're a right-handed archer, you carry your bow in your left hand to shoot. So if I'm right-handed, my pack strap goes on my next to my left collarbone on my pack. Um, Almost all of the backpacks now have, the load lifters with the webbing, stitched every couple of inches to carry stuff. So my initial Ascent pack, it works just perfect. Um, so that's kind of the bow hitch setup. Where the bow hitch does have 3 different sizes. When you're ready to take a size measurement, you measure from where the holes on your sight are, where your quiver attaches to your sight, to the last arrow in your quiver. And so you find that measurement, and we just want the opening of the bow hitch to come out past that last arrow, just a hair. We just need it, to be able to get in and out with the 1/16th of an inch of the webbing that has to fit. So um, it's a very streamlined, simple thing. If you're not wearing a backpack and you're just wearing your bino harness, you can go directly carry the bow hitch directly on your bino harness, or we now have our bino harness bino strap that even makes it easier to get to. That's now on the website. We have what we call the 2A bow sling, which is your standard single point AR-15 style rifle sling that we've adapted to run with the bow hitch. So if you're not wearing a backpack, you're not wearing your bino harness, and you're just shooting in the backyard or whatever, you just throw this strap across you, and then you can carry the bow hitch right off to your side. So that's a huge hit for us. People love the 2A. And the reason we call it the 2A is because we are able to, we have an attachment that clips onto the 2A sling where you can actually run it with your rifle as well. So it's still a single point sling for your AR, but you can also use it for the bow hitch.
That's
So
awesome.
that combination and that setup there is sweet, dude. It's really cool. We found a lady here in the U.S. She's a local lady who builds dog collars and leashes and stuff, and she's making all of our slings for us. So not only is the bow hitch made here in the U.S. in New Mexico, like we literally drive 30 minutes. I pick up the bow hitches. They get them, they cut them out of a laser with a laser, 14 gauge steel. We pick them up, we take them to the powder coater another 20 minutes away. We bring them home, we get our webbing, we take it to this lady. She shows everything up for us. So it's all right here in the U.S. manufactured in New Mexico, dude. Like, we're home and it's all getting done, which is so freaking cool. Um, so we're super proud of that. Super proud of that. The first run of 2A slings we had built, and they came from overseas. We have about 15 of those left, and then we'll be sold out of those. And it's back to everything made in the USA with our flags and with everything there. So super proud of that.
That is awesome.
Uh,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So that's the bow hitch side for our archery side. As far as the new other two slings that we came out with, we have the rifle sling, which is not just a rifle sling, but it will work on your muzzleloader, your crossbow, which is huge because people are like, dude, come out with something for a crossbow, please. There's nothing for them, and so we nailed it, dude. Like, this sling is the bomb. And it's designed the same way. It's designed with hunting in mind. So if you want to walk from, A to B in the dark, put it in your backpack. Like, that's the easiest, most comfortable way. I don't care where you put it because you're not hunting. When it's go time and you need to have it readily available, you're going to use it. It's called the solution. So carrying your rifle is a problem, carrying your crossbow is a problem, carrying your muzzleloader is a problem. We have the solution, and that's what it's called, the solution
That's
sling.
awesome.
Um, so fully universal, dude. The little sling swivels that come on any of your weapons, it attaches to those just like your standard rifle sling would, and it utilizes the pack strap just like the bow hitch would, hangs on your side. Uh, you can come up and shoot without ever removing it from the sling. It's still fully attached. It's really neat. So if you guys get a chance to check that out, you can look it up on YouTube or at thebowhitch.com.
That's
So
amazing.
that's one of them. That's our other product that one's gonna blow up. And then another one that we came out with is our tripod sling. And photographers, hunters, guides, nobody has ever had a sling for your tripod. So you're either carrying it in your hand or it's in your backpack. It's one of those two places. And me being a guide here in New Mexico, like, you're in and out, in and out, in and out, and you get tired of carrying that tripod after a while.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm carrying two tripods. I'm carrying one with my binos, and then I'm carrying one for the shooter. So to be able to have one on your strap, the same bow hit strap, it all works off of the same strap there on your side when you want it. You don't have to find a place to lean it, or put it down or whatever. It's always with you, and you're not bearing the brunt of the weight. It's another cool invention there that we have coming out for you.
Well, that's pretty cool, and it makes sense. I mean, it's not something that I would necessarily think about because usually when I'm glassing, I have a moment that I can sit down and get out of my backpack. But I can definitely see the application of wanting to have your tripod there and readily available for your binoculars. And if you've never put your binoculars on a tripod, I highly recommend that you do
Oh,
try it.
you got to, you
You
got
love the
to.
difference.
Yes. Oh, dude, I don't glass without them anymore. Like,
Mhm.
I'm once I was shown the light, I've never looked back, dude. Like, I will, and everybody who hunts with me now, everybody now has a tripod, and we just find way more animals, and we could glass for longer, and there's just not a downside. Carrying it sucks. Now we have a solution for that. We just make it that much easier. But southwestern, like Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, some of the high open country where you're doing a lot of walking and stalking,
Mhm.
not even stalking, walking from point A to
Right.
point B and glassing, that's where it's important. Kind of the high timber, Idaho, different parts. You really, it may not be a benefit to you in those type of topography, but I know in New Mexico, I just used the crap out of it this year on the hunts that I went on. So that application, dude, we're not a one, solve everybody's issue, but it's an option for you if you guys want to check it out.
For sure. For sure. That's awesome. So there's definitely a world of things that you guys can check out by going over to the Bow Hitch. I'm going to leave that link down below so you can check those things out. What else do you want to hit on while we're talking about your giveaway and the Bow Hitch, and what do you want to bring to the people?
Um, One thing that I think is actually super cool and is just the community, like the bow hunting community. I don't want people to, because I think it is so strong, like I'd hate for us to lose any steam. Our community is one of helping others and one of, hey, let me volunteer. Hey, let me donate a bow hitch to your cause. Hey, let me show up and teach these kids archery. Yeah, I'll show you how to do deadlifts. Like everybody in our community is hella cool, and I don't want us to lose steam with that. With it just being like, hey, this was a fad, or this was TikTok, for whatever year we're in. Like, I don't want it to be the cool thing to do. I want it to stay. And I think it will, but I think maybe just keep that at the forefront of your mind. Like, support the small companies, you know, and I don't mean that in a selfish way. I just mean like it's cool for me to buy a tripod from somebody who's a pretty new company, I'll be like, hey man, let me check that out. What do you got? I got this waterproof bag. Let me buy one of those, like it makes it validates the people. If you're going to use it, don't I'm not asking you to waste your money, but listen to the people when you go to these shows. Like they put in a lot of hard time and work and effort and money, and so much goes into being an entrepreneur that I think it gets lost on a lot of people who have never dealt with anything like it. So as you guys go to these shows, like, hey, give the guy 2 seconds to hear what he has to say. Um, you know, so I guess that is kind of selfishly speaking, because those are, sometimes, dude, when we first started and we first went to our first shows, I would get so mad at people, Jonathan. I would be like, bro, F you, like I was so mad because people would walk by and they just like ignore like 100%. And I'd be like, bro, I know you heard me. Like at least acknowledge me, And some people are just like, dude, I'm not asking for your social security number. I'm just proud of this thing that we made and I wanted to show it to you. Like, and in my mind now that it's been, 3 years of us doing this, I'm like, eventually you'll see it and eventually you're probably gonna want one. Like you're gonna have some, it's intriguing. Why would I not want to carry my bow? Like, or why would I want to carry my bow when I didn't have to? Everything else in the world has a strap to it. Like, like there's purses, there's slings, there's backpacks. Anything that you're going to bring with you has a strap
Mm-hmm.
of some sort to attach it to make it easier to carry. So I think, eventually it'll come around. So uh, that was kind of a sidebar, but that, yeah, dude, that used to tick me off so bad. So when you guys,
No,
what I was saying is when you're at shows and people want to show you something, like, man, give them 2 seconds of your time. You don't have to buy it, you know. Like for us, we love our product. Like people could go and try it for free. It's like, hey man, I'll throw one on your bow. It doesn't adjust your sights. Take it out and try it. If you like it, cool. Come and buy one. If you don't, cool. Thanks for trying it. I appreciate it. Um, so uh, I don't know. That was a tangent. I'm sorry if that was
no, I
squirrel. If I
agree.
squirreled out.
No, I definitely agree. It's something that we need to pay attention to. And if you're at a Total Archery Challenge or Mountain Archery Fest or any event like that where there's vendors, don't ignore them. Don't you can say no, I'm not interested, or no, thank you, but don't just ignore people. And I would even recommend that people make time to go around and check out the vendors while they're there. I definitely understand that people's time is valuable, but make a day out of it if you're at a show or an event, to make some time so that you can go and actually talk to people and get to know these business owners and people that have put in a ton of work and effort. I know Armando and Doug have for sure put in a lot of time and effort into this, and continue to do so as you continue to improve and come up with different ideas to fit different people so that you can help um, make carrying things suck less. And
Exactly
and
right.
so and with that being said, though, I don't feel like that was a tangent at all. I feel like you definitely hit the nail on the head. Support people. Support your buddies, support your friends, and support them like what was the phrase? I don't support your local friends or support your small businesses like you support the celebrities, right? Um, and go try it out, listen to them, see what people have to say and what they're bringing to the table. But I definitely wholly support and believe in the Bow Hitch. This thing is awesome. You guys did an amazing job with this. And guys, if you're in the market for any type of sling or the sling for your rifle, for your muzzleloader, your crossbow, if you're looking for a sling for your bow so you can go out and shoot and not have to set it down on the ground or not carry it everywhere. If you're looking for a bow hitch so that you can attach it to your backpack while you're hiking in, you want to have it ready to be able to shoot. All of those things are provided over at the Bow Hitch. Again, I'm going to leave the link down below where you guys can find Armando and Doug's inventions, and they will make your hunting experience a lot better. Where else can people find you at, Armando?
Right. So the bowhitch.com for now. We are going back to the business name is actually Simply Savage Solutions. We had the business name before we knew what we were going to call our product. Like we had the Bow Hitch for like a year and a half without a name. And but we had a business title, right? And we had our bank account and we had all that stuff. So we're going back to Simply Savage Solutions. So if you do go to the bowhitch.com, and please put that one in the link because once we get the Simply Savage website, the Bow Hitch will automatically redirect to it. So the bowhitch.com is great. At the Bow Hitch, you have to put so at the Bow Hitch on Instagram and Facebook. We have a couple of videos on YouTube, a couple of videos on TikTok. But we're just learning at this, guys. We're a few years into it. We're doing our best. We by no means know everything, but if you're a new and I've been, if you're a new entrepreneur, you have ideas or you're making a go at it. I've had several conversations where I think I was able to provide value to people just based upon my experience. So it's not sugarcoating. It's like, hey man, I really suck at a lot of things, but there's a couple things I'm pretty good at. And I'll tell you both, this worked for me or didn't. So as you see these different platforms that we're on, use me as a resource. If you can come up with something that kicks our ass, I will help you because it's going to better the industry. If I made you better, then you make me better, and we make we our iron sharpens iron. Like let's improve this until we're like, dude, you nailed it. Like this is going to be hard to beat. So uh, I'm here to help if anybody has questions or whatever. We're just regular dudes. Reach out to us, say what's up, ask us questions. If you think of something where, hey man, if you thought of this, like we're all ears, we just want to make it better. So thebowhitch.com, that was your question that you asked before I rabbit holed you again. Thebowhitch.com at the Bowhitch. Is really what you need to know.
Awesome. Sweet. Guys, definitely go check out the Random Act of Kindness giveaway that's going to be live on Instagram. Go check out the Bow Hitch on Instagram as well. And of course, their website. Go find a solution to carrying your bow, carrying your rifle, whatever it may be. Go figure it out over there at thebowhitch.com. And with that being said, thanks so much, Armando, for coming on and just highlighting again the importance of service and that question that's so important. If not me, then who? Right.
Yeah.
So we need to all ask ourselves that question and make sure that we are better on a day-to-day basis. And thanks again for hopping on. And like I always say, guys, get out, live your life, and love it.
You're the man, bro. Thanks for being a